have tea. I don't have to be drunk up here on the, Oh, I got a song, but
You mind if I take some of your Remy?
All right, guys, we're just getting ready. We're getting set up. Getting the tongs. We're getting our drinks. This is the pre. You may not see all of this on. So this is going to be one of our blooper reels. This is an outtake, which you're watching now. Miss Sine, what you drinking, Miss Sine?
Some Remy.
Remy?
Yeah. Today. Yeah, today, Remy.
today we drinking Remy. Who else needs?
I'm doing the.
You want Remy?
I'm scared. No. Scared me. Wrong, girl. You a true. Don't do it today. Don't do it.
What? No, I'm gonna be good 'cause I got my son's car.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you better be good. All right.
Put a little lime in it.
You need soda? Oh, so ginger ale. Is that what you doing? Long Island iced tea.
Should have put it in the freezer.
It's all right. So what we doing today?
All right.
What we doing?
Yeah.
Party.
What we doing? We're going to talk about our week. See how our week went.
I want to know how people like my lounge.
What we
My
got?
creativity. I don't know.
Come
about
on, you
that
ready?
Picture over there.
Where's your mic? Where's the nice mic?
All right. And then after we start, just cut that down to a lower level, okay? All right. Hang on.
Can I push it, pull it closer?
Okay.
It's too loud.
Yeah, just a little bit. All right. In 3, 2. Okay, guys. Welcome to the BS of Entrepreneurship podcast. We're kind of excited here. Y'all excited? All right. Yes. One of your hosts. This is I'm Frankie P. Well,
I'm Maria P.
Miss V.
oh, Miss V. Sine. Well, what we're going to do every week, and each show, we're going to first all have a drink. And what do you have, Sine?
I have me some Remy with a splash of lime and ginger ale.
Yeah, what are you sipping on, Maria?
No, I'm doing the same thing you're doing.
Oh, okay.
Long Island.
This is a Long Island. Yeah,
iced
this is a Long Island
tea.
iced tea. What is it? Tell me. Let me
What
see.
kind is it? Captain Morgan's, isn't it?
Is it Captain? Oh, Captain Morgan Long Island iced tea. Okay.
So we're trying this one because this isn't the one we normally drink.
No, actually, it's not bad though.
Let me see. No, it isn't. You
It's
want
not
to
bad.
try this.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. So today, so tell me, how'd your week go?
My week went well. My son, he just got his driver's license.
Oh, yeah?
today.
My daughter got her learners.
This is an extra time. Go ahead, Sine. Hold the mic up a little bit.
I think that's about all. That's
Okay.
all I
So he got his license or his learners?
his license.
Okay. So
Yes, his
did
provisionals.
did he have to take the test once, twice?
Twice. So today we had an appointment at 1:30 at Largo,
Okay.
but my check engine light was on.
Okay.
So I was trying to make him another appointment, and Annapolis had one at 4. So I'm calling around asking people if I could use their car. I called Maria. She said yes. I had to change the light, her front light.
So
And
you
then-
had to you had to do that in order to actually take the test.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then my son called me my oldest son called me on his lunch break because he can't bring his phone in. And he was like, "Oh, you called?" I was like, "Yes, can we use your car?" He was like, "Yes." I was like, "Perfect." So I still have his car, so I might have to run and give him his keys.
All right.
I told him I was here.
So Maria, so how'd your week go? What happened? Exciting.
What happened exciting?
Interesting.
Interesting. Oh, there's a lot in property management that could happen this week. But I think we had a mild week this week. I was in and out the office a lot. Gabrielle got out of school. Today was her last day, and she got her learner's
Whoop,
permit.
whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Today.
Yeah, yesterday.
It was
Yesterday.
yesterday.
Yeah,
It was
yesterday.
Yeah, so that was about the most exciting thing that happened that I can remember. Anyway, that was it. Everybody's cool. Everyone's chilling right now
Okay.
in the industry.
Yeah. Well, my week. I wonder. Let me start on a high note first. On a high note. Well, we're actually part of Swimply, so I've been out every day getting the backyard together for our guest. So that's been a pretty exciting venture for me. Trying to get the pool clear. My God.
Oh yeah, it's finally clear. Thanks to Kevin, Crystal Pools.
My God.
He's going to be in here one day. We're going to have him on the show because he brought us some product out the kindness of his heart. He went and got us some product. Thanks to my wonderful office manager, Tracy, who's not with us this evening, and we're so sad. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he brought us some something to clear up the pool, and that pool is perfect now. It looks really good.
All right.
But if you all haven't heard of Swimply, go to swimply.com. You can find us under the Relaxation Station.
Relaxation Station. All right.
And you can rent the pool.
And first, let me take a step back to tell them why we're here and why we have the BS of Entrepreneurship podcast. And it's to entertain, number one, enlighten, and enrich. Okay. We're gonna do those three things. We're gonna make sure we have some fun because we're in the lounge.
Yes,
so
we're gonna
we're gonna do everything we can to bring the information that you truly need. That's gonna help you grow. Ultimately, if we can all grow together, we can be business partners and go into a large venture.
Right.
I think that'd be dope. I think that'd be real dope.
To do find some other entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs. And we all get together
and build an empire.
Yep,
right.
Do some JV, some joint ventures together. Well, let me the second part about my week. Well, it's not as exciting as the first part of my week, but my aunt passed, and I went to her funeral. It was a beautiful funeral. As funerals go, but one thing that kept going through my mind at that. As we're sitting there, you're sitting in the church, and you're just looking there at the casket. And one thing you always think about is, what did she have everything protected? What was everything set in place before she passed away? Which is a serious conversation that we all, especially in our community, that we need to start talking about. Seriously, but I think there's one person who can probably help us out with that information. And come on in, baby. Come on in.
Somebody asked for the good name.
Yes, sir. State Farm.
Stay Farm.
We're gonna allow you to introduce yourself, sir. Go ahead.
This is Craig Adams with State Farm Insurance. He is our primary insurance agent that helps out our renters with rental insurance, home mortgage insurance, and he's helped me out with what kind of coverage is that? Life
Aflac.
Yeah, like an Aflac policy,
Aflac.
which I need to turn in some papers. I did have emergency room visit about a month ago. I need to turn those papers in, but he can tell you about that. But I'm gonna let him take the floor now because even though I just had 2 sips, I'm starting to feel it.
But before we get started, we jump into this. Craig, why don't you go on ahead on over there to the bar and get yourself a little something?
Oh, I get to have a drink?
Yeah, you get to have a drink.
Oh.
Yeah. Why he's doing that? So you said you were going to tell us about a claim or something that you were going to have?
Oh, yeah. I had to go to the emergency room a couple of weeks ago because I was setting up for my son's prom send-off, and I slipped off the step and fell headfirst into the security door. So, yeah. And the ambulance came and all of that. Mm-hmm. So what the State Farm insurance policy that I have covers is if you go to the hospital or if you go to the emergency room, they'll give you a certain amount of money back when you have an emergency room visit or a hospital visit. And Craig can give you those numbers if you're interested in knowing what that is. But I've used it before. I've received my money back, and yes,
And
you
it's
got to
quite
pay for that.
fast.
Yeah, and today she's done it a couple times too.
Oh, you got
haven't
money
you?
back too. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I have a policy because if you have children or grandchildren,
Or you
Know
just
that-
clumsy.
right, or you just clumsy like me. If you take them to the emergency room, which you will be doing if they play sports, or a hospital visit or something like that, sometimes you have a fee, because I've had fees and I was super surprised. But that money does come in handy, and if you don't have any fees, you can just put that $250, I believe it is, in your pocket, or $500 if you're in the hospital.
Got a quick question.
Yes.
Best part. You talked about what was paid out. How much do you pay for that policy about?
It's so nominal that I don't even remember.
Great answer. That's a great answer. That was actually the answer I was looking for.
It is. I don't
really is.
remember. I don't feel it. I don't feel the
That's my point.
payment.
Okay.
But when I felt it in my head, the first thing I thought about was, oh, I'm about to get my emergency room money.
And
So
And the reason why I asked that is because when you think about the nominal fee that's coming out of your pocket, she talked about the $250. I use myself for an example. That's the best example I can always use.
Okay.
She's bumping into stuff. Well, when my son was born, he's 4. My wife had a C-section. We got paid out for that.
oh wow, wow.
See what I mean? So that $30, $35. I mean, that's about average. You know what I mean? That $35. By the time I paid that, she got that C-section. She was in the hospital 3 days. They paid her $250 per day. Then they paid her for the procedure. My wife got back like $1,000. Wow.
What's the name of that program? 'Cause
It's called the hospital income.
But hold on, before you jump in that, Craig, let me wind that back just a little bit. Just let us know who you are
Okay.
and a little bit about yourself.
I'm glad you asked. My name is Craig Adams. I am a State Farm agent. I've been a State Farm agent for 4 years now.
Okay.
I've been in this industry.
Longer than that?
Well, there's a reason for that.
Okay.
Maria jumping the gun. 'Cause Maria's known me longer than that. That's why. I've been an agent 4 years. So let me go all the way back to the very beginning. So I gotta paint this.
story?
Yes, I gotta paint this picture for
Tell us
y'all.
your
Is that
story.
okay?
Let us know.
Is that okay? All right. So the story is, I graduated. I'm originally from Syracuse, New York. I went to school in Buffalo. I graduated in 1998. About 10 months goes by, I don't have a job. My dad comes home one day. He gets me a job at a factory. I become a United Auto Worker, Chrysler.
Okay.
I worked there 7 years.
Wow.
Tough job. Made good money, but that's what I did. It's a true story. Every day I went in there, I told God, I need a career. I can't do this for the rest of my life, because my brother-in-law worked there, and he was like, Craig, he took me to work my first 3 months. He said, Craig, they're going to close this plant. He said, they're going to close this plant. And 2 years after I left, they closed it. I left in 2006. I left in 2006. They gave me $50,000 to leave. Yes. And 10 months after.
How long were you there?
I was there 7 years.
7 years, they gave you $50,000. Okay.
Yeah. So 99. Remember when the auto industry went kind of bad
Yes,
a little bit?
yes.
That's where I was there.
Okay.
So it was tanking. And the plant I worked in, we did transmission cases for all your 4x4 vehicles and every GMC, Ford, and Chrysler vehicle. My plant made them. So if you had a 4x4 car that went from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive, my plant made the transmission case.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was like, okay, I saw the writing on the wall. I saw it. So I leave. I cash out on faith. I'm leaving. 10 months goes by. I looked at my bank account, and I was like, I need a job. True story. It's a true story. I was living good. I was taking trips. So I was young. I don't even think I was 30. I thought I was like 30. So
$50,000 in his pocket.
yeah, 50 grand. So I get an
50 grand
email.
went a long way back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Frank, I get an email. So this leads me to this seat. So I get an email one day. and I got an email from a guy who who was a manager of a life insurance company, and he asked me in for an interview. So I go to my mom's house, and I know a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't know much. I'm like the average citizen. I know a little. I know what it is, and that's it. So I go see my mother. I'm the youngest of four. I'm a mama's boy. And I sat down, and I'm like, Mom, I'm at her dining room table. And I'm like, Mom, I got this email from some guy from a life insurance company. I got to go in for an interview. Y'all ready for it? Y'all ready for it?
Come on, let me know.
Here's what changed my life. I'm going to take a sip.
We all take a sip.
This
we
changed my
all take a
life
sip.
because I've told this story before, and it's true. My mom sat me down at that table, and she looked at me, Frank, just like I'm looking at you, and she said, Craig, you got an interview with a life insurance company? And I was like, yeah. She said, I want you to take the job. And I'm like, you do? I'm like, why?
Yeah, what do I have?
And
that you want me to do in life
the
insurance?
very next thing she said to me is she said, because our people don't have none.
Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Say that one more time. Say that one more
She
time.
said, my mother said, Craig, I want you to take that life insurance job. And I asked her why. And she said, our people don't have none. And I'm like, and I'm the look on my face now, and I'm like, what you mean? So I knew for a fact. My grandmother had life insurance. My mother was paying for it. She would always tell me about it. My other grandparents, my family just believes in life insurance. I knew my mom had it, so I was kind of familiar about my family members having it. I used to even walk around the plant. My first day walking in there, my daughter was like maybe she was like 4 or 5 at the time. I used to walk in there every day like something happened to me, I got to make sure my baby girl is okay. Something happened to me, I got to make sure she's okay if I'm not here. I used to always think it. I used to always think I didn't do anything about it, but it was always on my thought process. You know what I mean? So when my mom started telling me about this, it started to make a little bit of sense. And then she said, she elaborated. She said, Craig, you know why? Do you know why our people are always behind the 8 ball? And I'm like, she's like talking to me now. And I'm like, no, why? She goes, because we don't leave them nothing. She said, you know what? She said, you know what the other communities do? They pass down stuff from generation to generation, family to family. And I'm sitting there and I'm just taking it all in. She's like, Craig, I need you to take that job, and I need you to go into the community. I need you to tell our people, and I need you to give that story. And I'm like, my mom's never given me bad advice. Okay, she's never given me bad advice. I'm a mama's boy. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, and she is serious as cancer, man. She looking at me like through my eyes, like, I need you to do, and this is the last thing, Maria, and this is when I knew. She said, I don't want you to miss out on your blessing. And I'm like, okay. I'm gonna go help. She was like, I don't want you to miss out on it. So I was like, okay. So I literally went in with blinders on.
Okay, because mama asked me to.
Yep.
Wow.
That's my story, man.
Wow. Now let me ask you this. As far as the claims that you've helped people, just give me an example of someone who was in a situation and without that protection. And let me ask you this. Is it more for the life insurance, or should it be more for the what is it that you have?
The
disability?
The disability.
The disability.
What do you think is most important, the life insurance or the disability insurance?
Well, that's really a good question, Frank, because that's actually I actually ask my customers that question. I kind of phrase it that way, but the only thing that I add on to what you just said is what's more important to you. Right. I can't answer that question for a family. I can't answer that question. I don't know what's more important to them. So once I put it out there, I say, what's more important to you? Dying from a disability, dying from a death prematurely, or having a disability and your mortgage ain't paid?
Those are some
I know
serious
what
questions.
it is for me.
So which one? So can I answer for myself?
Okay.
Both.
That's why I got both.
Both.
That's why I decided to get it on the kids as well. Frank has a policy. He has his own policy, but then I put everybody under mine, and then we all had the emergency disability insurance. And I think it's important for me, as I'm getting older and I'm slipping and falling, to have it, and I'm glad that I do. And I'm also glad that how long have I had that policy? What, 3 years now?
But I want to throw this isn't to you. This isn't to you directly because you're covered, right? I know you are. But this is to your profession. There's a lot of people who are in your profession who do what you do who don't have these. There's a lot of them. They own properties.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Man, these realtors, man, they own more properties than the customers, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
They own properties. They own all this stuff, and it's like, okay, you guys are industry professionals. Y'all got all this stuff. What's gonna happen if something happens to you?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you guys need stuff too. You guys are okay. But I talked to a lot of, and they're like, oh yeah, and I'm like, no, you're included in this too, because same thing Maria talking about. I got the same thing. And I tell people this stuff. I use myself as a case study. Last February, because it was 2021. My wife comes home, January. She goes, you gonna love this one, Maria. She goes, Craig, I'm gonna have to get surgery on my toe, and I'm gonna be out of work for 2 months. I looked at her and I said, so what? And I kept doing what I was doing. She's like, you heard what I said? I was like, yeah, I heard
me.
you.
We didn't come for 2 months.
That
Look at
was
Maria.
me.
Look at Maria. But you
Talking
don't.
about so what?
But you don't understand why I said it though. So I looked at her again and I was like, okay, and I kept watching my game wherever I was watching. The reason why I had that attitude and I said it is I was covered.
Okay.
That's why. Because that I don't want to lie. I think it's like $40. That $40 a month policy that I pay, right? $40.
$40.
She had her surgery. She told me in January, had her surgery like February 4th. I had a 30-day waiting period. That March, I was happy. That April, I was happy. State Farm sent me $1,400.
Wow.
And I use that money.
Like State Farm.
And I use that money to pay my mortgage.
So now you have a question because I have something I want to. You had a question, Sine? Okay. All right. So now,
She can tell her story.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let us.
Today I know you used it.
Let us know. Let us know how you used your life insurance.
Well,
Not the life insurance, the disability part
Oh,
of it.
disability.
The hospital
We're not using
portion.
no life insurance right now.
so when I am, I'm rearranging my house, doing home improvement. I'm not a young, I'm not that young. So
22 is not that old.
Oh, thanks. Yes. But I threw my back out twice. I had to go twice.
You need to go see my chiropractor, honey.
I see one too.
Oh my gosh, she's the
And
bomb.
I have to take Reese because he jammed his figure about 2 months ago. Still isn't healed.
Oh wow.
So I need to go take him to the emergency room so he can. I'm gonna give him the money because he's the one that.
So when your son gets hurt, you still get paid money.
Yes, because
Yes.
they're under me. I'm going to get my oldest. I'm gonna have him get his own policy. He has to get his own because he's over 18. But
Okay.
my two younger ones, they're on my policy. So when they get in accidents or have something, I take them to urgent care. Like, okay, can I get a printout of this visit, please? Thank you.
She
And,
uses it.
I'm like, oh,
Not mad at her.
Craig, it was an accident, so I'm here's my paperwork.
I got a question. How many times have you used it since you got it?
I think 2 or 3 times. I
Okay.
know for a fact twice,
Okay, that's not bad.
but I think 2 or 3 times. But I need to go for my ankle. I hurt my ankle. I haven't gone for that, so
Sine, would you say that the time that you've had the policy and what you've gotten back is pretty much paid for itself?
Yes.
That's my case.
Now let me hop the fence real quick and go to the other side on the life insurance. If I know you want to help the community, if someone is looking at life insurance, how much life insurance is recommended that a person should have?
Great question. That's a hard question because when I first started doing this back in 2007, I got to give a shout out to people who trained me, and because they're still my friends to this day. And I follow them on Facebook, and I show them love. Ray Rizzucci and Dorian Odom. And
Shout out to Ray.
Yep, and Dorian. They work.
Dorian, shout out.
Yep, those are my people, man. And they taught me the whole life insurance hustle, and you know how to. And what Dorian said to me is he trained me properly. He said, Craig, when you go into somebody's house and they got a life insurance policy, you congratulate them. You don't sit there and you don't say, oh no, that what you have is no.
You try to beat them down.
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
My God.
And being in this industry the last 15 years, people do that.
Oh,
Yeah, they do. They did
yeah.
it to me.
See what I'm saying?
What you have is crap.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, there you go. No. And I'm like, I'm actually glad you said it. But that's what people say. And he was like, don't do that. He said, you go in there and you thank them, or you congratulate them, rather. You tell them, man, you're doing a great job. You're protecting your family. If they won't buy what you got to offer, they don't need it, and you go to the next family.
Say so, brother.
That's how he trained me. And that's how I went. And I build plans for you because your need may not be the same need I have. Okay. Sinead's need may not be the same need that I have and that you guys have. So why am I gonna go into every household pitching the same product? I'm jamming something down their throat. I don't do that. I go, you got how many kids you got? You got a wife, you got debts, you got liabilities. Let's write them down. You want your kids to go to school? How much money you want to leave behind? Okay. What else? What are your hobbies? I mentioned debts. I mentioned hobbies. Funeral expenses.
Yeah.
Okay. Average funerals, $10,000.
Wow.
You can spend 50. You can spend 50.
That's
I
true.
spent 12 on my husband's in 2006.
Oh wow, that was a
that's
lot.
16 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's double by now.
Yes.
probably.
Yeah.
Exactly. So funerals can be expensive. Now that's now. It's 2007, 2008. When I first started doing this, it was like $6,000. The bare bones minimum. Now it's 10.
Right.
So it's only going up.
I remember that someone explaining to me that the way you would figure out how much life insurance that you needed, it was called the DIME package. DIME. DIME. Debt, income, mortgage, education.
Bam.
The DIME.
You just said I got a different acronym.
Okay.
So when you were doing DIME, I don't know if y'all saw me. I was sitting there and I had the acronym in my hand. I got an acronym too. My acronym is life.
Life.
So I was like, okay, so living expense, lifestyle, income, family, education.
Education.
Right? So that's the conversation, right? Then it's okay, do you want to leave anything behind? Then you start the funeral. So this is the conversation I'm having. That's why I said it's not about me. This is not about me. This is about protecting you guys. I gotta make sure you're my customer. I have to make sure you walk out of here, something happens to you, your family calls my office. These two conversations, one of them I don't want to have. One of them I don't want to have. One of them I do. But out of these two conversations, you guess which one I would prefer to have. Okay, Mr. Adams. I'm the Harrison I'm in the Harrison Purcell family. I'm calling to see if now this is 20, 30 years from now. Now I'm calling to see if my mother Maria or my father Frank has a policy in place. Yep, there's a policy in place. Let me see who the beneficiaries are. You're good to go. Okay, let's make this happen. I get all the forms out to you. The process starts.
Okay.
Now this is how the second call can go. Second call can go like this. Okay, you want me to see if a policy is in place?
Oh man, that's not the one you want to have. Hey guys, that's not the conversation or the scenario that you want to have.
Now, sometimes this is definitely the conversation I don't want to have. Oh, there's a note on this account. Let me pull this up. Okay, about 5 years ago.
The policy lapsed.
About 5 years ago, when I reached out to this family to do an insurance review, to go over all their accounts, because I do this almost every year, every other year. It's my process to reach out to my customers. I offered a life insurance policy, and they told me they were okay and they didn't need anything. And I took a note and said, not interested.
Wow.
Which conversation do you think I would rather have?
You have one of three options, and then you just tell that story. Man, Now let me ask you this. As far as business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs, they have a lot of capital, a lot of assets that they have that they may want to protect. So how do you help them to protect those assets that they may want to leave down? You know, because we're building this thing to leave a legacy.
Great question.
So how do you help them prepare to be able to navigate the waters to leave that down to their heirs?
That's a great question, Frank, because the majority of the public, they don't have a lot of these assets, right? They may not be business owners, but then we got that small group who are, right? So that's what we're talking about. Once you have a certain amount of assets, you own your home, you got rental properties, you own a business, you got relatives, you got children, you want to leave that legacy behind. The first thing you want to do, and the first thing that we would advise you to do is you want to get a will, okay, and you want to get a trust.
Will, say that again.
You want to get a living will.
A living will.
You want to get a will, and you want to get a trust.
And a trust, okay.
And all your assets. And
hold on, because I'm just right here at the left. Can you explain to me the difference between a living will and a trust?
All right, living will. The bottom line is, you pass away, you have an attorney. You pay that attorney a fee, and everything in writing what you want. Your house. In your 1980 Cadillac that you used to have with the antique tags, you wanted to go to your youngest son, and you want your other 4 rental properties that you had located in Southern Maryland, and want to go to your daughter. All of that information is in your will. Okay. That's your last. Those are your last words. They say it. They have a term, Frank. I'm turned on by it. Some people don't like morbid stuff, but I like it. You might like it too. I like it. I heard this term a while back. A will and a trust. Most importantly, a trust. You control everything from the grave.
That's true. That's true.
I heard it and was like, I got turned on. I was like, that's what I want to do.
You said you got turned on, huh?
I was like that. Today I was like, that's what I want to do.
I have a question. I heard that for your life insurance, you should not have your kids as your beneficiary. You should have your trust.
That's actually a good point. But I'm going to tell you why they tell you that. The reason why they tell you that is if something happens to you prior to your children turning 18, they won't have access to the money. If you got a trust in place, and the trust is the trust. Yeah, the trustee controls the trust. So however you want that trust to pay out, even if they're 18 and you want or 15 and you want them to go to a private school and you want the money to pay for the private school, that's what the trust is going to do. That's why they're telling you that, because if it's prior to 18, remember, you want to control everything from the grave.
Okay.
Right? Okay. I got to keep going back to that. I like that. So that's what the trust is going to do. And if you don't have it set up, Sine, it's going to go to probate. It's going to go to probate court. You don't want that.
Right. And tell us about probate, because like I said, I don't know anything. What does probate do? How long does that take? And why do I want to avoid probate?
Probate is a nightmare. Probate is when, I think that's probably what happened to my Aunt Nettie. Like I was trying to tell you about my mom. I had an aunt in Philly. She had no kids.
Okay.
She had no kids. Man, she owned one of them big old Victorian 18th, 19th century homes in Philly.
That's worth about $2 million right now.
Guess who got it?
The state. Because she didn't have a will.
She ain't had no kids.
Oh, my God.
My mom used to tell my brother passed away in 2017. My mom used to tell my brother when he was going to Penn State, I'm from New York, so he was in PA, and she'd be like, go see your Aunt Nettie. Go see your Aunt Nettie. What she was trying to do is, she knew, I told you, my mother don't play, man. My mother knew what time it was. She knew. She knew my Aunt Nettie didn't have any kids. And my Aunt Nettie, all my grandparents, my great aunts and uncles, my Aunt Nettie she almost made 100.
Wow.
So she was already like in her late 80s, 90s. And she knew she needed that stuff to go to somebody. Okay. She was nudging my son like, go see her. Go. And he did. He went to go see her like once or twice. He's like, man, she live in a bad neighborhood. My mother was like, so what?
It has to go to someone.
My mother was like, so what? Somewhere. Her intent was, our Aunt Nettie has a liking to you, and she passes. She leaves everything to you. You get in that house, you getting everything.
Wow.
I use my sister. My sister is pretty much taking that same philosophy right now.
Okay.
My sister has no kids. She's not married. She just turned 50. She's a life insurance underwriter. My family believes in life insurance. She's like, Craig, she got a house in Charlotte. She's like, I was going to my nephews. They do whatever the heck they want with it. So, Maria, when I get that, here we go. Excuses, bury me out back. Nobody ever did nothing for me. I've heard them all, Frank.
Yeah.
I've heard them all.
Yeah.
When I get those excuses, I don't have any kids. You don't have to have any. Mm-hmm. You're paying a mortgage. Mm-hmm. Every day you go to work, your money is going to that mortgage. Mm-hmm. You pass away and you sell that house, or excuse me, they sell that house, and it doesn't go to your family members. Your investment, all your money just went down the drain. Why? Makes no sense to me.
That's because they're selfish. That's a selfish behavior or attitude that some people take on. They don't want to give it to anybody else. They don't care.
You think that's what it is?
It's selfishness or stupidity. Which one?
So I think
A lack of education.
I think it's that.
Lack of because I think once we get educated and selfishness and education mixed together, once everybody gets educated, we can build back our Black Wall Street.
I agree with that. But if you have somebody who has the knowledge and they're explaining everything to you and they're telling you why you should do this, and you still come back with, I'm not doing that. I don't care about that. I don't have any kids. I'm not giving nothing. I'm not leaving nothing to nobody. And I've heard it a lot, even in the real estate industry, when I talk about what you can do in the future. You can have this home, and then you can pass it on, and then the people can use it to take money out or whatever.
You get pushback?
I get pushback.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't need no home. I can continue to rent. Okay. That's
I actually saw a lady just like that. I spoke to her about life insurance at one time, and she says, and she was a pastor.
Pastors normally on board with this.
She was a pastor. Really? She said, the only thing I'm leaving with my children is the word of God. She said, that's the only thing I'm leaving my children is the word of God.
Sometimes I believe that people get hurt by other people, or they feel slighted because they're not coming to see them, or they're not talking to them, or whatever the case may be.
Used sometimes.
Right.
I did all it. She's right, though.
Right. And then they just...
Yeah,
I'm not leaving anything.
Yep, I've been working.
I don't care.
They feel like they probably out there on the vine.
Pet.
Yep.
They say stupid stuff like that. I'm gonna leave it to little Reggie.
The goldfish.
Yes, they do. They say stupid stuff like that.
Reggie the goldfish.
Leave it to somebody.
Right.
Leave it to charity.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it to somebody. Leave it to somebody.
Because if not the state, even though you don't believe that you have a will, your will is the state, the fallback.
And Frank, you get a lot of people who also say, like when Sinead asked me about the will and the trust, people are like, I don't have anything. I don't. You still need to say yes. You do.
Somebody said that to me.
They say that all the time. I don't have anything. Yeah, yes you do.
Don't realize what you have.
Yeah,
Right.
yes you do. Yes you do. You still need what is the power of attorney when they turn the plug off. All that stuff. You need the last person who's going to say, okay, they've been in a coma for the last 2 months. Okay, you need to have all that stuff outlined. I'm kicking myself because I think it was like right when COVID started. I was supposed to have my will and my trust. I don't have it yet. I'm being honest.
I got supposed to do the same.
I got I got tons of life insurance, but as far as like my will and my trust, COVID came around. So I'm using it as an excuse, but I gotta have one.
I'm gonna tell you an idea that Maria had, and I think we should all look at implementing this idea. Is having was it a will party or what type?
Yeah, a party where we get together with a person who can establish a trust and a will for us. Mm-hmm. That way, you're in a comfortable setting, just like similar to what we're doing right now.
And we get our parents to come, because that's a conversation that a lot of parents don't want to have. So if we get our parents to sit down,
your mama has a will, right?
Yes,
and my mother has a will. Now, I mean,
Nice.
I'm just saying in general, both
That's
of them
good,
do.
though.
My mother actually has a trust, so I have talked to an attorney about her trust, and I kind of have an idea of how it should be set up. And I told Frank last year, we need to do this. So I'm not going to hold back anymore. We've got to do it. And I found somebody to do it for us. So maybe we'll have her on the show.
guys, a will and a trust.
Yeah, we all need it. Because you don't know. Life is not promised to any one of us.
I'm living an example of that. Mother's Day 2017, 5/15/17. I got a call at 4 a.m., 3:30, 4 a.m. Got a call. It was my brother's girlfriend. She said, I spoke to your brother around 2:30. I haven't heard back from him. He was on his way home from work.
Okay.
It was getting late. She put the call in. He told her, I'm on my way home. I'll be home in 10 minutes. He didn't make it.
Wow.
He had a one-car accident on North Capitol Street. Car flipped.
Oh, no.
Yup, my brother's gone.
And on his way home.
On his way home. Right? So, I mean, life happens. My best friend, my only brother. I mean, I have his brother. He has a brother. I call Donald my brother too, so I don't want to disrespect Donald. But I do call him my brother. But my blood related, only brother I got. Yep, he's gone. We took care of everything. But yeah, man, this stuff is home, man. This stuff is serious. You know what I mean? And I talk to my customers all the time, and I use myself as an example. That's my job, Frank.
Right.
It's my job. I mean, I get tons of people that go, okay, Craig, we understand. Okay, all right, I think about it. Okay, and I go, okay.
Okay.
I brought it up, I mentioned it, and that's when I told y'all when I do this. And I go, okay.
You try to change their mind against their will. I forgot the saying. A mind changed against their will is still of the same opinion still. So they're still going to think the same way. Even if you force them to get it and you're sitting in front of them, they'll get the policy while you're there. But the next month or the next 2 months after that and things get tight, it's gone by the wayside. Yeah. So the first thing, I need to take a step back. I do apologize about the BS of entrepreneurship. The BS stands for behavioral science.
Nice.
It is how you think. It's not what you're thinking about. It's how you think about your business, about entrepreneurship, about your life, about getting into your brain. And if you change how you think, and if you listen to my tagline, is you change your perspective, you change your life. So if you change how you think, everything around you begins to change. So this is the BS of life insurance today.
Maria, you got your winner right here, man. I like that, man. No, seriously though, I like that. And the way you articulated that and the way you said it, I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm like, that's how I changed my own perspective. It starts with you. You know what I mean? You gotta change that. You can't listen to all these other people. It starts with you. Once you start saying, all right, I want to do better, I want better, and I want to do this, if you really want it, you'll do it. Yeah. You'll do it. You surround yourself with people, you input the knowledge and information. Man, we got information today. When we was growing up, we had car catalogs, y'all.
Exactly.
Right.
We had to pull out the drawer and have the alphabet. Go to.
I can still do it.
That was before
I can still
my
do
time.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. I did that in high school.
You did that too?
No, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
But I can still do it. I was good with it.
Put the little sticker.
Yeah, you see the little number. Go to your thing. Like, all right,
Right.
there he is. I can still do it, but you don't even have to do that
I
no
know
more.
those people out here talking about, what are they
What in
talking
the world are they talking
Another
about? A car
thing.
catalog.
That's how we had to look for books.
Now they
About
just
the
Google
life
everything.
insurance, I know we're talking about, as adults we need life insurance, but when you can comment on this. I also think when you get life insurance, you need riders for your children, and it starts low, and when they turn 18, they can take over, and it doesn't cost them that much a month because you start as a child.
Right.
And the younger you get life insurance, the cheaper.
Look at Sinead plugging the conversation. Good job, Sinead. No, she's right though.
Okay.
What she's saying is you got. I would say definitely when you get like 2 or more kids. Two or more kids, I'm just using a standard, right? Okay. Standard metric. I mean, like I said, it varies for everybody. But once I find people when they got 2 or more kids, it's more cost effective to do what Sinead just said. It's more cost effective. You get the policy on yourself and your kids. As a writer, you get coverage for your kids on your policy.
Okay. So explain. Break it down. A rider is
additional coverage for your children.
It's the same policy. It's not a different policy. It's the same policy. It's just additional.
It's their own individual policy that they're going to be covered under you until they become not 21, but like what is it, 18?
18. Okay.
So 18. Okay.
So it stops at 18.
Yeah. Come on, y'all know that 17, 18. That's when like everything counts.
So we need to revisit my policy then, right? Because Wisdom just turned 18, but what do I have on Marissa?
Wisdom is 18. Wisdom's on her own now.
Okay, so we need to revisit my policy. But I have a policy for Marissa. She'll be 26.
But she's that's basically a separate policy.
So you don't have to do anything.
It's a separate policy that I pay for on behalf of Marissa.
Marissa doesn't
Can she
have to do anything.
take that policy on her own if she wanted to? If I say, "Hey, Marissa, it's time."
That is her policy. You're just paying.
I'm just paying the premium. Okay, and I think that's
bright
important.
guy here.
You know.
I get something right once a year, and
Yes.
guys, you take this. That's my one time a
been
year to be
recorded.
right.
Recorded.
It may not happen again.
Me and Frank.
On June 23rd.
Me and Frank, we gonna talk about that too.
So I can continue to pay for Wisdom's policy too, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay, but he can take it.
Frank was right. You're just paying for it. That's all you're doing.
So if I you're off my policy now, dude, here.
You got to
He
pay
can take
for it. Yes.
And it'll still be the same price
Yes.
and all of that. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
Because it's not that expensive.
Well, while he's
right
in
now.
college,
I'm not doing that.
But
I
you're
mean,
doing,
you know.
currently you're doing what I would advise probably. They're in school. They're still young. They not thinking about that. Keep it doing you're doing the right. You're doing the right thing.
Just have them pay their phone bill.
Yeah.
And car insurance.
And hopefully they keep that on.
They get cut off at 21. Parents out here, I don't know. That's my cutoff. When you're 21 and I don't have to worry about you anymore because I feel like you're grown. You get cut off from the phone.
What age?
21.
21.
Oh, you still pay for the phone bill?
I do up until 21.
Oh.
That was my agreement.
21.
I stopped when you
21.
move out the house.
I know that's right. I know
I
that's
like
right.
that one.
I didn't do it.
Grace, you're living under
Because
grace. Believe that. You're
I
living
just
under
think,
grace.
yes, I just think that their brains aren't completely developed yet, and they gonna need me, and I just want to be able to
That's the
Well,
track
brotherly.
them.
That's the mama. That's the mama in you.
His son. My son, my oldest, he's on my phone bill. So his phone would never be cut off unless I personally cut it off. And
See, he's still on there.
he's still on my phone bill, but
Marissa is cut off
he
now.
gotta pay. No, they can stay on my phone bill
21.
forever.
No, she got cut.
Oh.
Severed the tie.
Is she
Goodbye.
working?
Oh yeah, she's
Okay.
doing her own thing.
Okay.
And she's gone and she took that and she knew it. I kept telling her when you turn 21, I'm not playing with you.
She in another state, right?
Yeah, now she is.
She's in
So
Louisiana.
yeah.
It's cheaper down
yeah.
there.
It is. She loves it down there.
Okay, cool.
She loves it down there. So I mean, that's her thing. I can't be in all that heat in the bayou and all that. No. But
I do have another question about the life insurance. I told my oldest, I told him he needs to get life insurance. And I guess it doesn't fit in his budget. He has a job that will give him life insurance, but like when he leaves, he won't have it. So can I
so it's
open
only
a
a policy that you can have during the
On
time
his
that you're.
name?
You need to do it. I would advise you to do it as his mom, because you see the value in it, and like, come on, Sonny, let's be honest. We're in our young 20s. Like, we're not thinking about this stuff. We thinking. When me and Frank was 20, you couldn't tell me nothing.
I'm live forever.
Yeah, exactly. I would have ran through a brick wall and been like, okay, and what? I got knocked out. I can still do it again. Like, we think we superhuman. So he's just not thinking about it.
So I didn't know if I didn't know I could open it with.
Yeah. This is the term they use, Sine. Insurable interest. As long as you have an insurable interest, meaning mother, father, grandparent, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, you're good.
Say that again. What is
Mother,
insurable interest?
insurable interest is mother, father, grandparents, siblings, niece and nephew. That's it. That's insurable interest. You got
None of that girlfriend.
None of that. You can do fiance.
Oh, okay.
You can do
But
fiance.
how can you prove fiance?
You really can't. Boy.
So I can take
If y'all live
a
together,
policy
you really
on
can't, bro.
on somebody and kind of,
I mean, no.
That's what I was getting ready to ask you. You see all these movies where these people are taking these policies out on people.
Look, listen. If they're
Business
living
partner,
together.
If you're a business partner, you can do it.
No, Frank, because we segued a little bit. I'm actually glad you brought up business partner. Because when we were talking about business, I wanted to bring this up. When you got a business and you got a lot of assets, you can get a policy to protect a key person. So prime example, you can get a policy on Sinead.
Okay.
So, yeah.
As a business.
No, hear me out.
We get no policy on me.
No, watch this.
What you
Watch this. Watch this. You run a bit. You got your own business. She works with you. She's a key employee, right?
Yes.
All right. So they call it
Oh,
key person or key employee insurance.
Yes, I'm about to do this.
So in the event, she on the 495 on the Beltway. She doesn't make it in here one day.
Wow, that makes sense because that would be a loss of income to an income stream to the business.
Bingo. And now Maria is sitting up here with the kids
Is that a tax write-off?
It probably would be because it's a business. It's a business.
Business.
I'm sorry, I gotta do this.
I'm sorry,
I gotta do this.
Talk to your tax.
If you open $1 million life insurance, I'm gonna start asking questions.
Now, I'm gonna kill her off. That's what I said. Just stay with us, Renner. You still here? So we kill her off, right? She on the Beltway. The ambulance is out there. You and the family, we all Sinead's gone. Everybody, you losing it. You I gotta go find another employee. We just got out of COVID. It's hard finding employees right now. She has no idea when she's gonna get an employee. Now that policy is gonna pay her to go find another person. She can use that policy to go find a headhunter, go find a new person to fill that role. Sinead left.
Oh, okay.
Business partners do it all the time. Me and you got a multi-million-dollar business. We partners. I gotta make sure you drop off. Something happen to you when you go on your fishing trip.
You can replace me.
I gotta replace you, brother.
Marketing to find somebody.
Yes.
Okay.
And you gotta replace me. It goes the same way in your household. Me and my wife, and on our house.
You gotta replace her?
Yup.
Her income.
Thank you, Frank.
You know this is recorded, right?
You gonna get me in trouble. They killing me. No, Sinead, not that. Frank said, I gotta replace her income. So now she's gone. I gotta make sure her income is gone. I just told y'all my brother passed away.
Policy on him.
I have a policy.
You have a policy, but I don't have one.
But it goes if I pass.
I think that's why I didn't get one because he had one.
You gotta make sure. You gotta remember. You gotta make sure. So listen. So on my way home tonight, I'll be fine. But if I don't make it home tonight, my wife cashing in and the house note paid off. She ain't making another mortgage payment.
Right, the mortgage, that income mortgage.
I got more than that too, though. But I'm just saying.
Your policy pays off the mortgage.
It would.
Okay. Hey, you just never know. I mean, the same for me.
Right. But now the income. Now here's my question. How long of income should we budget for with the policy?
Good question. You got to at least do 5 years.
5 years, okay.
That's the minimum. That's the bare bones minimum.
Okay.
When I first came into this industry, that's what it was. At least 5.
So if someone making $70,000,
70 times 5,
70 times 5, $350,000.
$350 right off the top.
That's just for income.
That's right off the top. 5 years.
That's not the mortgage. You know, here in Maryland, they have $1 million homes, $750,000. So you got $1 million policy right there.
Bingo.
And
watch this. And Maria.
And don't ever go to private school.
Maria and Sinead, most people don't think they need $1 million in cover. You'd be surprised. Just like people will say, I don't have anything. Because you just said it. The mortgage, my income for 5 years. You make $50,000 a year, 5 years, that's $250 grand.
$250 right there.
10 years, that's $500,000 in your house. You need $1 million policy.
Yeah, I know when my husband passed away in 2006, a month before he passed away, he passed away from a car accident. I was just about to up his life insurance to $1 million. I was like, I don't need $1 million.
Because how was he at the time?
He was 24, and I
24
was
years old, right?
I
You're
was
not even
like,
Ain't thinking about it.
I was like, I don't need $1 million. What do I need $1 million for? He had his regular life insurance. Then he had that would pay 2 times whatever the policy was. Then he had 2 accidental policies that paid 2 times, and then I had life insurance. And I was like, that's enough. I mean, I still think it was enough, but I never upped it to $1 million. And so by the time everything was cashed out, it was a little over $500,000. But paying all the stuff and minus the income, I was like, and I think back, I was like, I probably should have did $1 million. And I think, not to say this would replace him, but after everything was done, I would have cashed out with $4 million.
Something you just said made because when, and not to equate it to accidental death, but when someone goes to court and they get a judgment, the money is not to replace the person per se. It is to replace what they would have. What's the guy, Johnny Depp? He won his judgment based on the income that he will perceivably lose in the future.
Yeah.
That's
based
what he
on this
based on this,
defamation of
right.
character.
Sine brought up a very valid point. Listening to her talk, I want to highlight this point too. Life insurance is not just about when you die. You can take advantage of it while you're living. There's a living benefit in there as well. Term. You got 2 types, right? You got term insurance. I got to break it down. You got term insurance and you got permanent insurance.
Okay.
One or the other. It's not just one thing. Life insurance. No, there's 2 different variations. Term, permanent. Term is for a certain period of time. That's it.
Okay.
I equate it to like Maria's tenants. They're renting, right? That lease is up, expires, right? What happens after it expires? They got to leave, right, Maria? I don't care if it's 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. That's term. Once it's over, that's it. Now, they can keep it, and term is always less expensive too, Frank. It's always less expensive, and they give you a huge amount of coverage. So that's what we have for my mortgage. So whenever somebody always tells me, I'm only paying $20, I know it's term. Okay. I know right off the break it's term. I know that, right? So you can get a lot of coverage for not a lot of money. Oh, I'm only paying my credit union $20. It's term. I know that. I just know it.
Maybe 5 years.
Yep. Most likely probably 10 or 20.
Okay.
Right? But then after that term, what happens? That you gotta make a decision. It stops.
Kind of like an arm on a mortgage.
So now, me and you, 20 years ago, me and you was a lot younger, right? Mm-hmm. Now,
a whole lot younger.
Exactly, Frank. Don't even go there with it. So now it's 20 years, right? You 27. Now me, I'm 47. Now I'm 47.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm grayer now. I got less hair. Mm-hmm. So now you are not going to pay the same price you did as a 27. So now the price is going to be higher.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get less coverage. It's based on your age. The average person lives until age 80. Okay. 80 is like the cutoff. That's the mortality rate. 80. So the insurance company is hedging a bet that you're going to live that long.
So they're betting that you're going to live less than 80, and you're betting that you're going to live longer than 80.
They're other way around. They're hedging their bet that you're gonna live
longer
past
than
80. That's why they want to look at your medical records. That's why they want to make sure you ain't got high cholesterol, diabetic, you smoke. I call it the 3 strike rule. I call it the 3 strike rule. Once they see 3 strikes, oh nah, we don't want them.
So is that for term and?
That's for insurance. Period.
Insurance. Okay.
Yep. And now whole life, now permanent, because whole life is part of permanent.
Okay.
We got to use the word permanent.
Permanent. Okay.
Permanent, it never goes away. It's always there, right? I believe in both because each one of them has a purpose.
And you get a cash benefit, right?
Yep. We're gonna have to dig in there. We might not have time today, but yeah, we're gonna have to dig into the cash life one.
Does that mean we have to bring Craig back?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
That's it, Maria.
Oh my gosh. Yes. God, if this has been beneficial to you, please make sure you leave a comment. Comments column, please like this, share this with someone who needs to know about life insurance, disability insurance. But Craig, because we don't want to hold you up all evening, can you tell the people how can they get in contact with you if they realize that today, you know what, I'm don't have anything or I'm totally under coverage,
Okay.
how can they get in contact with you?
I'm glad you asked. My office is located in College Park. We're at 7338 Baltimore Avenue, Suite 208. Zip code is 20740. Phone number is 240-828-8862. My website is www.insurancecollegepark.net. And my email is the same thing, is craig@insurancecollegepark.net.
And we'll have it put on the screen for you.
Yeah, we'll do all
We'll
the
incorporate that.
back end things that I'm supposed to do. So
But
guys,
I'm
go ahead,
not
Maria.
finished.
Go ahead,
I
Maria.
have one last thing to
Maria
say.
has one last thing.
If you are a tenant, anyone's tenant, you need to get renter's insurance. Do not skip that part, okay, when you're renting. I've had plenty of people come to me. Oh. I've had plenty of my residents come to me asking me for a hotel stay. Don't you all do that? If under certain circumstances you'll pay for a hotel.
If they got a claim, yes.
The refrigerator stopped working and they want reimbursement for their food. The AC stopped working and now they want their electric bill paid. See, maybe on alcohol.
Too much.
This is why you get renter's insurance. It's only a one-time fee for a year, or you can pay it monthly.
Yeah,
but it's very minimal.
Like $17 or something like that.
It's very minimal.
Not
So
even.
get that renter's insurance, okay? And then when you're ready to transfer that renter's insurance, because now you want to become a homeowner, just call your State Farm agent, and he'll hook you up with a great policy because you've been with him for a while. That's all. That was my last little tidbit.
All right, guys. So any last words?
No.
Well, guys, we appreciate you spending some time with us. Please, like I said, like this, share this. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments, and we will get that over to Craig if you leave it in the comments, or just call him directly if you have any questions. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the BS of Entrepreneurship Behavioral Science. Remember, you change your perspective, you change your life. You change your perspective, you change your life. You change your perspective, everyone needs a will and a trust. And guess what? You're going to change your life. Peace. I finished my drink. It's time to go party.
Got a little bit left.
I got a drop.
Turn it up again. Snake, turn that
Turn that
music
music up, Sinead. We out of here.
Uh-oh. I don't know about that. Is that MC Hammer?
Yeah, you can't touch this.
Oh.